Well, the Chicago Bulls 2026 trade deadline has come to pass, and the Chicago Bulls made a lot of changes. But what did they really accomplish? That is the question that we're going to talk about here. We're also going to get AK's post-trade deadline press conference and more going on during the stream. We'll talk about it all and more right after this. What's going on, Bulls fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bulls Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related. I'm the host there, Haize, but more importantly, you guys can follow the channel at Bulls Central Pod on every social media platform we happen to be on. With that said, let's go ahead and get into this content for today. The Chicago Bulls, if I'm not mistaken, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, did they make 7 trades at this trade deadline? 7 trades? 7 separate trades made at this trade deadline for the Chicago Bulls, and not a single bit of clarity really gained throughout all of that. Now, I see somebody said in the chat that the Bulls got players that do all the same things Kevin Huerter, Ayo, and Kobe do, and that's not true. They got nobody that does what Ayo Dosunmu does. There's not one single two-way player amongst any of the guards that the Chicago Bulls acquired at this trade deadline. Not a single one. So I don't know if I could say that they got players that did everything that they lost in some of the players. Now, the thing is, too, Jaden Ivey could be a very good Kobe White replacement if he gets back to being healthy. And that is the biggest question in all of this is he going to get back to being healthy? And that's the answer that we do not have right now. We don't have an answer to if he's going to get back to healthy, if he's going to get back to the player that he looked like he was becoming before he went down with injury. Now, this isn't the first time that the Bulls are taking a shot on a player that had a big injury. The problem with it is that he's a restricted free agent at the end of this year. So you only have the 20-something odd games left the remaining part of this season to try to figure out exactly who Jaden Ivey is going to be and how his fit is going to be with Josh Giddey. That is the most important thing here. Is Jaden Ivey going to be a fit next to Josh Giddey? He wasn't the most natural fit with Cade Cunningham, but that's because Cade is still a scoring point guard. While Josh Giddey is averaging nearly 20 points per game for the Chicago Bulls, we all know he's not like he's a willing passer. He'd be more of a facilitator than a passer if you have the right people. Than a scorer if you have the right players around him. So if he's going to be that, then great. No harm, no foul. But it's still a huge question mark on if that's who Jaden Ivey is going to be for his career. Now, if it is, great. Now, we did get Anthony Simons, who's a pure scorer, not really much of a rebounder, not a great passer. Not saying he's terrible in those areas either. But, if he can come in and bring something for you, then great. Like, no harm, no foul there. But you got nobody that brings what Ayo Dosunmu is. Nobody that brings what Ayo Dosunmu did to this team. So I can't say they got somebody who does what Ayo does. But, we'll see what happens there. Maybe they'll have enough. Maybe they won't. We'll see. Yabusele did waive his player option, so he was the only player. Yabusele was the only player that we acquired that had money going into next season potentially with that player option. There's already some rumors that he was going to plan on going back overseas to play anyway. Keep in mind, he only came back over to the NBA because he had a great Olympics, and a lot of teams were like, hey, that Yabusele guy, he can play. So now we'll see what happens there. If he, what he does for the remainder of the season. But he's an expiring. He's probably not going to be back next season. The Bulls are going to have to revamp this whole entire team. Now, Cam Thomas has gotten bought out. The word is as well that Dalton Connect from the Los Angeles Lakers could get bought out as well. Do the Bulls look at any of these players? We'll see, right? We'll see if that's what they end up doing. I can't guarantee it because, again, AK has his head so far up his ass that we don't exactly know what's going to happen with this team. But right now, the Bulls made changes. And for the people that just wanted to see the Bulls change stuff, they made those changes. How much clarity came in those changes? Not a lot. There's not a lot. There's not a lot of clarity in the changes that the Bulls have made yet. We'll see if that changes. But there's not a lot of clarity in those changes quite yet. We'll see how that develops for this team. It kind of is what it is there. We are waiting for AK to go live If anybody can tell me once AK goes live, I'm going to keep trying to check it myself, but I am going to put it on the screen. We're going to have a live watch along once Arturas Karnisovas goes live and see what the hell he's talking about at the end of this trade deadline. But we're going to see what happens, man. We're going to see what happens. But yeah, Haize, what do you think the starting lineup is going to be? If I had to guess, Josh Giddey, Anthony Simons, Isaac Okoro is probably still going to start, Modest Buzelis, and Jalen Smith. That's probably going to be your starting five. If I had to guess, that's going to be your starting five. Now, I did say that after the trade deadline, I wanted to see Jalen and Modest be the starters together, but I wanted them at the four and the 3 and the 4, not the 4 and the 5. But we'll see what that's going to be for the rest of it, man. See what that's going to be for the rest of the way. We got a super chat in the building. If Chicago-born IO wasn't part of our future, then I don't know who is. I mean, I feel you on that one. He's live now? Where is he live at? Because I don't see it on the Bulls YouTube page or the Twitter. Where is he live at? Oh, there it goes. It is live now. All right, hold on. I'm going to bring it over here.
Josh, Mathis, Ice, Noah, Jalen. We are intentional about surrounding these core
Let me know if y'all can hear
it. With players who have real NBA experience, along with upcoming draft picks. Pieces we believe can grow together over time. Evaluating long-term fits. And the last, but not least, obviously, financial flexibility. And draft capital. We've maintained sustained flexibility heading into the offseason. That gives us real options, whether that's free agency, trades, the draft, or continuing investment in development. Flexibility allows us to be patient, but also decisive when the right opportunity presents itself. I believe you cannot have too many draft picks in terms of how you can operate for the future. Billy and his staff have done an excellent job keeping this group prepared and competitive. I trust him completely.
AK in his fucking pre-written statements, bro. Piss me off.
Players are bought in. Everything we're doing is tied to building something meaningful towards the long term. With that, I'll take your questions.
Casey, why don't you go ahead and get us started?
Arturas, in the past, you've been seemingly hesitant to enact this much significant change in one instance to seemingly take a small step back in the short term for potential long-term gain. What changed?
I think the timing of stage that we're in as a team. We started this last year. And go into this season, a lot of decisions had to be made with a lot of free agents. And that was a great opportunity for us during trade deadline to address and get a lot of draft capital and target very specific players and, take a look at them for the rest of the season.
Quick follow-up. I mean, Kobe and Niall were expiring, but so are Sexton and Simons. So are you still, you talked about the evaluation period for the remainder of the season, but you still face financial decisions this summer. What was the reason behind trading both Kobe and Niall?
I think we have a lot of flexibility this summer. And during the trade deadline, you're always risking to lose your free agents for nothing, right? You can still go back in free agency. We're going to have a lot of room under the cap. So we thought that was good timing to make these changes, and we did.
Joe?
Well, we continue evaluating our, young guys, and, Josh, it was Mata's first year. So I think right now it's a good timing, and we addressed it.
And then the other question is, you kind of smacked around the idea of second round picks for the last 3 or 4 years, saying they are not good currency, and now you have like 30 of them. So
Is it
what
lagging bad for
changed
y'all?
there?
Hold on. Sorry, y'all. Give me 1
Well,
second.
second round picks are currency in our industry, and you cannot operate and acquire players and trade players. And I think we addressed it during the trade deadline, and hopefully they're going to
Let me
contribute
know
to
if that makes it better. Hopefully that
our
makes it a little bit better.
during the draft, during free agency, and trying to build this team.
Joel?
Hey, Arturis, can you hear me?
Yes.
So obviously, it feels like for some time in terms of competitive integrity, you and ownership and
It should
Billy
be
have
better now,
been
y'all. My
sort of
bad.
aligned in the previous direction. What were the conversations like with Michael and
Audio
Billy
went out.
both as you decided to sort of make this hard pivot?
Test, test, test.
Well, Jerry and Michael have been always supportive, and they were, obviously involved also
No
during
sound.
this
Okay, give me 1 second,
trade
y'all.
deadline.
Can y'all hear me
and
now?
We worked close together.
Y'all
I've
can hear me now?
talked also to Billy during the season, prior to trade deadline, and during the trade deadline as well. So I think we're in the lockstep. With the
We good
stage
now or no?
that we are in, and
We good? Okay.
those moves had to be made, and everybody were on the same
Refresh,
page.
y'all. If y'all can hear,
And
refresh.
just quick follow-up, Arturis. I know previous to this point, you weren't necessarily a fan of the word rebuild. I guess, how are you describing the team's direction now, and what does the window look like for you to maybe get back to the standard you're hoping for?
Well, I'm still staying away from that word. I just would call it as a stage that we are
Put
in.
this in.
I think we have experienced, young players, and we're gonna keep on adding player in the draft, and then we're gonna address a lot of stuff during
If you
free
can't
agency.
hear,
I think
refresh.
unfortunate
Refresh it if you
that
can't hear.
Noah wasn't able to play this year. He was injured, so I'm looking forward to seeing him next year. But he's going to be also a big part of our future, and we're going to continue evaluating now for the next 30 games players that were here, and the new players that are coming in.
Julia?
Here, Therese, when you talk about kind of that evaluation period, can you outline what you're looking for in terms of maybe a few bullet points of types of players, just kind of profile that you're looking for as you approach that free agency and draft process?
Yeah, so we still gonna stay obviously with our style of play, and players that we acquired gonna help us to maintain that. In terms of roster balance, it's probably, there's still work to do,
No shit. There's
but
still
next
work to
30
do. What the
games are going to
fuck?
be very, very crucial to evaluation
I hate
period
this
to
stupid son
see
of a
what these,
bitch, man.
players can do. I mean, we individually kind of targeted, players
You
in these
didn't target
trades.
shit. You got whatever the
You
fucking
know,
market gave your bitch ass. You tried to target people.
some of
They
them
told
are,
you no. You said, okay,
obviously
son
free
of a bitch.
agents.
Shut the fuck up, AK. I hate this
And
motherfucker,
we're gonna
bro.
have to make decisions, but
I hate the way you
in
walk.
terms of
I hate the
style
way
of
you
play
talk. I hate
and
the way you dress. I hate the way you read the
the
script. I hate
character
everything
and
about. Can we get Kendrick to diss this
toughness,
month? I
and
may be writing a
there's a
Chicago
lot
Bulls diss track
of players
this
from
weekend.
the
I ain't got
players that
shit
we
else to
brought
do.
in
I may have to
have
get in the
that on their
lab, bro.
profile. So
I hate everything about this
without
motherfucker,
going
bro.
into specific players, I think we're gonna have time to evaluate them.
And then just a follow-up from me. This is obviously like a painful process. You're trading away some of these, fan favorites like
Hate
Kobe
this
and
motherfucker,
Io,
bro.
having to maybe take a little bit of a step backwards or sideways to make that progress that you want to. What's kind of your pitch, I guess, of why that is worth it? Because I think from the outside, this can be a very difficult thing to stomach of
Wait,
watching these
where the
players go
dumbass
away
go? Hold
for
on.
what might not feel like a huge return, I think for some
Well,
of
I
them.
think being in the middle, Julia. I mean,
First
I
of all,
think
let
it's
me tell you
being in the
something.
middle
This is
that
my
we don't
motherfucking
want to
channel.
do.
I'll curse
I
wherever
think
the
we've
fuck I
seen
want to
that
curse. If you got a
the
problem with
past
it, you
4
need to grow the
years,
fuck
and
up
we
and get off
want
your
to
mama's
change
titty.
that.
How about
That's
that?
the stage
Now that's
that
what you
we're
need
in
to
right
focus the
now.
fuck on. This is a platform
think we
I
have
created.
to
I'm going to
take a
curse here if
look
I
at
feel like cursing
different
here.
combinations
Otherwise,
of
you,
players.
your mama, and your grandmama can
And
suck my motherfucking dick. How
I'm
do you feel
definitely
about
worried
that?
about, there's so many, new players on the team and how little time we have, for cohesion and get to know each other and all this stuff. But I trust Billy and his staff. They're going to do their best, for the next couple of months to work with this group.
Thanks.
We're going to use that for sure.
What's that?
Will,
Hate
go ahead.
being-
Guys, if you can mute your mics for me, please. Thank you. Go ahead.
Characters. I'm just curious to follow up on sort of some of the players that you brought in. It seems like Ivy and Dillingham in particular are guys that you would potentially want to keep around longer term, but the backcourt is very loaded right now with just 6 or so guards that you would presume all need to get minutes. How do you plan to manage those minutes to be able to get a good evaluation of those guys that you'd potentially want to keep longer term? And would you consider buying out any of the guards to try to open up more space for them?
No, I think it's always about availability. We were not able to stay for long periods of time healthy, and I think we continue in that space. So I think, in terms of we always shorthanded. So all these players are going to get a chance to play and gonna be able to display what they can do. In terms of specific players, obviously Jaden was, top 5 pick, a couple, 4 years ago, and 2 years ago it was, obviously averaging 17 points. Simons has been in the league for a while, has been a scorer. We've seen him, when we played him against Boston a couple times this year. Colin Sexton has been always a warrior, hard worker anywhere he's been. Rob Dillingham has been, a couple of years ago, it was top 10 pick. And,
They won't.
he
And
was
you know
really
what?
talented
Don't
coming
if you
out of
don't like
college.
it, then
We're very
leave, and
familiar
I'll fuck
with
your
him.
mama for you. How
So
about
looking
that? Go
forward to
report
seeing
me
him.
if you got a problem with it.
Yeah, and Miller,
Go do that.
Yabusele, and Richards are good additions for our group.
We're gonna get to a few more. Sam, go ahead.
Did you hear that?
Yes, Sam.
Oh, thanks. You addressed this, you haven't had an appetite for doing this kind of thing. So I understand that over the last 3 years. But also, it seemed like, a few weeks ago, you had this win in Minneapolis, very impressive on the road. Clippers have been hot. The team beat Clippers. Boston had a win there.
Sam
And
Smith
you
got
never know about
old,
reports,
bro.
but the notion seemed to be, well, the Bulls maybe, maybe they could add on to this around 500, a chance to make a move. Maybe if they, there's a lot of talk about what maybe the Bulls are buyers. Did something happen about them that changed things?
He was
No,
never
I
going to
think
be a
we-
buyer because AK
again,
is a bitch.
I'm gonna tell you, we just stayed in the middle. We get to 500, then we get 2 or 3 games under. I mean, look at our standings. We're going to be again in the 9th, 10th spot. It's it's not good enough. And again, I think it's a combination of things. I think timing, marketing. I mean, I'm not marketing. Market dictates, a lot of times your trade deadline. I think, those guys were really good for us, but we just couldn't get over the hump. And I think, those decisions have to be made, and the timing was good for us to make those moves, and we'll see how those work out, because I think it's always consistency, right? And we just couldn't get consistency, consistently good.
But Billy Donovan's
and
done a good job and gets to keep his job. Come on,
like
bro. You don't even
everybody
sound
else
excited
in the league,
about
we
this
hate
bullshit
injuries.
you do. You want fans to be excited about
we
this
can,
bullshit?
blame
You sitting here
luck
like
or,
you're fucking
schedule,
Vlad
but
the goddamn
everybody's dealing
Impaler.
with it.
Like you're
And
dead
so
already.
I think it's a combination of things that contribute to what we did on trade deadline.
Drew, go ahead.
Can somebody shoot this motherfucker?
Hey, Arturis.
Hey, Joe.
What specifically has to be different a year from now for you to say that things are working?
What needs to be different for him to keep his fucking job?
Well, I think we need sometimes, and in the stage that we're in right now, we're gonna continue to look at growth in terms of our current players that we had here before the trade deadline, like Josh, like Matas, like
You only
Haize,
got 4
Jalen,
players you had before the trade
Noah,
deadline. You
and
dumb fuck.
add
You don't remember
another
their
player
names?
in the draft. While we are building and developing, I think it's very prudent to look for opportunities to get players that can fit your team, and I think starting right now, I think our pro group is going to focus on watching games and on very specific lists of players that we're going to target during free agency. Also, we're going to watch a lot of college games, international games, and
You should have been doing that anyway, you dumb fuck. You ain't been scouting?
And
Did AK just admit that he hasn't been scouting? We're going to start watching college games? What the fuck you been doing?
Because I don't know what's going to happen during the draft, and I don't know what's going to happen in free agency. So I think it's very early to say what we're going to look like. And I also don't know what's going to happen next 30 games.
We're
going to start watching college games?
Go ahead.
Hey, Arturis, you mentioned that you wanted to keep the same playing style, and you also talked about all the injuries you guys have had. I know you've looked good at times playing the fast-paced style, but you got in constant hamstring, calf strains. You're still undersized on the front line. Is this sustainable to play that style of play?
Well, I think I think a lot of those injuries, I think it's league wide. I think everyone is. So last year when we tried to play fast, I think I'm not going to say we're the only team that played, but it was kind of new, and our pace was 20th in preseason when everybody started, try to adopting, the same style of play. Is that sustainable? I think, taking in consideration how young we are and lack of experience, I think the execution in a half court we lack. So we have to run. And obviously young legs. So I think we're going to continue playing this style of play. And hopefully, obviously our, half court execution is going to get better with experience. So
hopefully.
We're going to get 2 more, Sully and then
with the experience. Are you not developing these niggas, bro?
Okay.
What the fuck are you talking about?
What gives you the confidence that you're going to get the kind of a free agent that can make a difference, considering the way the organization is right now?
I mean, all we can do is prepare for free agency and have our targets in play, and we have a lot of flexibility. I think Chicago is still a desirable market for players.
It is a desirable market, but you've ruined it because you're a fucking idiot. Don't nobody want to come play with your dumb ass, bro. The fuck you talking about?
Artur, so KC, when we first got on, I believe, asked you what changed. Obviously, it seems to be an increased value in seconds and getting younger, this sort of pivot. And Sam also asked you about that string of wins that felt like you guys wanted to be competitive. And you came into the year in the fall mentioning the 15-5 stretch to close last year. So when exactly did you decide you wanted to sort of tear this thing down and go a different direction? Because it still seems kind of unclear to me at what point this year you decided to go a different direction.
I think we started the year with very mild expectations, right? We were talking about the growth of players, and we're talking about getting better, and we're talking about developing our players. So it's not surprising to us, obviously.
Can we hire Nico Harrison?
Well,
I heard he's available.
But it was a very unique situation. We were talking about 7 or potentially 8 players being free agents, and a team kind of evaluating those players and being in the flux, and and in order for us to get out of the middle, I think those were the moves to be made, and this was great opportunity, and we took it to be really active.
Great. Thank you so much, guys. Appreciate your time. Thanks, AK.
Thanks, Arturis.
We are all more stupid for having to just watch what the fuck we just watched. What the fuck was that? What the nigga just did not say any motherfucking thing at all. What the hell did we just see? I am over this shit, bro. Y'all know I've been typically the most optimistic fucking Bulls fan in the fucking world, bro. I'm so over this front office. I need Billy up out of there. I need AK up out of there. I need everybody. Just get the whole motherfucking lot up out this bitch, bro. All these motherfuckers gotta go, bro. You done sent all the players off. Everybody gotta go, bro. There's no reason for nobody to still be here when this is all said and done. Everybody has to go. Everybody. Arturis, Billy, everybody. Everybody gotta go. Why are you still here? Why the fuck are you still here? What are we doing? There's no reason for you to be here anymore. None. You can't do anything. You're a fucking idiot. You're stupid, you're dumb, and you're goddamn remedial. What the fuck are we doing, bro? This is the moment that it finally happened. I finally turned on my beloved fucking Chicago Bulls. I'm done with this bullshit, y'all. I can't do it no more, bro. I can't do it no more. I've tried. I'm done with this shit, bro. This team is full of fucking idiots. And like everybody, how the fuck is everybody in your franchise stupid? Everybody's dumb? You ain't got one smart motherfucker to run shit? Everybody's stupid? Everybody's dumb. That's what you're telling me right now. That's what you got for me, is a franchise full of fucking idiots, incompetents, and fucking dumbasses. That's what you got for me right now. I need everybody. Look at this. This is what AK just said. I don't know how to do my fucking job. Save me. Fuck AK, bro. I'm tired of this bullshit. Everything gotta go, bro. Everything gotta go. Burn it all the fuck down. All of it gotta go. These motherfuckers is goddamn incompetent, stupid, and remedial all at the goddamn same time, bro. What the hell is going on? I can't believe what the fuck we just got to watch. That's the motherfucker that's running this shit for the Chicago Bulls fans. That's the person who's running this? That's the person who's doing this shit? That's the person that you wanted me to have faith in that's going to turn this bullshit around? Fuck y'all, bro. I mean that with everything, every fiber of my fucking being. I literally, I don't give a, until we win a playoff series, I'm fucking negative fucking Nancy, and I'm fucking standing by that bullshit. Fuck everything fuck you, fuck your fucking mama, fuck everything you stand for, fuck the Chicago Bulls as a fucking label and an organization. I'm tired of these motherfuckers, bro. Y'all got me fucked up. That's what this shit is. Everything about this franchise got me fucked the fuck up. I hate these motherfuckers, bro. I hate all these motherfuckers, bro. I hate all these motherfuckers. Every single one of these pilly ass mouth motherfuckers. I hate these niggas, bro. This motherfucker just got up here and tried to gaslight us and gaslight himself into not knowing. Like, what the fuck is we can't even say gaslight. You got to be smart to gaslight a motherfucker. The fuck? The fucking Washington Wizards got a better roster than the Chicago Bulls. After the trade deadline, the Washington Wizards got a better a better roster than the Chicago Bulls. The Charlotte Hornets got a better roster than the Chicago Bulls. The fuck we doing? That motherfucker is a clown, bro. I'm tired of these niggas, bro. Who are these niggas? I'm tired of these motherfuckers, bro. And you can take every bit of the little access I got to this team. Every little bit of the access that I got, all the extra, the exclusive drip that I got, take all that shit, ball it the fuck up, and shove it up your ass. I'm so that shit just pissed me the fuck off, bro. I'm so fucking upset. Because how the fuck are you gonna try to lead us down a fucking path and say, have faith in the rebuild, and you don't even fucking sound confident? You're about to start watching college games? You're about to start watching college games? You got to be fucking up. Come on, bro. This ain't the franchise that I love, bro. This ain't the same franchise that I love, bro. What? Man. You got to be fucking kidding me, bro. You don't like the word rebuild? Okay. My bad, y'all. I'm sorry. I told y'all all the time, I am a super passionate Bulls fan. Like, I live and breathe the Chicago Bulls. This is why it took me 3 years of this podcast before I started doing live calls, because I'm a super passionate Bulls fan. I apologize. That was not good content for y'all. I apologize that I allowed my fan brain to take over from the content creator for a second. I'm sorry. Y'all should not have seen that. I apologize. But this motherfucker is an idiot. I'm just telling y'all. This motherfucker is a fucking idiot. He's stupid. There's just no other way around it. AK is like, this motherfucker does not know how to do his job. He just doesn't know how to do his job. And it's evident every single day. He's in over his head. He doesn't know what he's doing. We ain't seen Mark Eversley, so we don't even get me started on that. Don't even get me started on Mark Eversley. All I can say is this, and I said this on today's daily episode, and I'm going to bring it back to this. I'm going to calm down. I'm going to leave it on this. If this does not work, and I don't have faith that it's going to work, AK has to go. Period. Billy Donovan has to go. Period. These motherfuckers gotta go. This nigga does not know what the fuck he's doing. And I stand by that. He doesn't know what he's doing. You can tell by the way, like, listen, the first year of Arturas, I gave him the benefit of the doubt that maybe he just isn't used to public speaking. We're talking about 6 years on the job, and you still are reading off a piece of paper to address your fan base that you know is frustrated, that you know doesn't believe in you, and that you know has no confidence in the direction that you're going with this team. And you don't understand the point of let me respect my fan base enough to actually prepare for this press conference and have something that I want to give to them and talk to them from. You're still reading off a piece of paper? That to me seems so, it feels, as a fan, it feels so dismissive. It feels like you don't give a fuck. It feels that you know that your fan base is frustrated and you're basically telling them, hey, listen, I don't know what you want me to do. That's what this feels like. Oh, shit. Oh, man, bro. All I can do is say this, y'all. One thing I promise y'all is that I'm going to still be here. Chicago Bulls Central isn't going anywhere at all. We're going to still be here every single day throughout all this bullshit, and we're going to try to get through it together. And hopefully all we can do is hope that this motherfucker throughout somewhere in this gets fired. That's all we can really hope for, is that somewhere throughout this, AK gets fired and it's done. Because this, we got 30 more. And listen, I can't even say we got 30 games because this shit can go well into next. We can be dealing with this all next season. We could literally be dealing with this for the entirety of all of next season. So I can't even say that we're only dealing with it for 30 games. I feel like I owe you guys an apology. And the reason why I owe you guys an apology is I seriously came into this season with some optimism, thinking that they were going to figure it the fuck out. And all that got proven is that no. And how, like, this is your third reset. How can we expect you to have this shit together? How? Man, listen, bro. I got to go, y'all. I got to get ready to go do Locked on Bulls. I didn't expect to get even more frustrated. Listen to this motherfucker talk. Fuck AK. Fuck Jerry Reinsdorf. Fuck the Chicago Bulls as a motherfucking label and an organization. And that's all I can say. And we're going to make it through how we can make it through. Love you guys. Go Bulls. See red. Be pissed the fuck off. I love you guys, man. Listen, B Minor, I owe you an apology. I owe a lot of people an apology, man. I'm not too big to say that I was wrong. And now, hey, listen, they didn't turn one of the most optimistic Bulls fans into a fucking op. I'm a fucking op now. For the rest of my days on this earth, I'm a fucking op of Jerry Reinsdorf, Michael Reinsdorf, Billy Donovan, Arturas Karnisovas. I'm a fucking op. I'm not going to let these motherfuckers breathe until this team wins a fucking playoff series. Until these motherfuckers win a playoff series, I ain't letting these motherfuckers breathe. Fuck the bullshit. Everybody can get it. But all right, y'all. Love you guys. Go Bulls. See red. We going to get through this together, y'all. Peace. Fuckhead ass niggas, bro. I hate